Hey everybody and welcome. In this video we're going to look at shadows, how to work with them to your advantage to create different effects. Before I get started, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed and hit the notification icon. That really helps me out. And also an even bigger thank you to my patrons and members. Your support is fantastic. If you are interested in supporting the channel, you can either visit the Patreon link in the description below, or you can simply join the channel and select one of the membership options. So let's jump into this then. So what I've got is a really basic scene set up here with a floor and a wall and a plane here with a light source behind it. And if we jump into NVIDIA iRay mode quickly, you can see that we are casting a shadow through this plane like so, which creates kind of a blinds effect. And what we're doing is, it's really simple. This plane has, if we go to its surface tab, in the geometry section, in the cutout opacity, we have a mask applied to it. And that mask was created in Photoshop like so. It's just a white square with some black lines in it. So in the case of creating a mask like this, you want the areas that you want the object or the plane to be solid, you'll have white, and the object areas that you want to be invisible, you will have black. And then once you've saved that out as a JPEG, you can simply click on this and it will go to browse, and then you can choose the image and it will apply it to your object, which will allow you to create various different effects. Now, the reason that we need this looking at it slightly different or in a slightly more detailed way is that the size of your light source relative to the shadow casting plane is very important. You will see why in a minute. At the moment, this plane's object scale is set to 10%. If I were to go to 100%, the light would get considerably brighter, but also you would lose the shadows which were creating the effect. And the reason for that is that if we zoom in nice and tight onto our light source and our plane here, when the light source is big, the light source becomes too soft through these slats. As you can see here from this simple diagram that I have cobbled together, if we were to quickly zoom in on this image, as you can see, what we've got here is our yellow square is our light source, and our black rectangle is the object that's casting a shadow, and then back here is the wall. Now, the light comes from the entire surface of the light source, not just a single point, which means that the light coming from the top and the bottom will come across like this, because light travels in a straight line. So you've got this area here that's completely bathed in light. Then you've got this area here between these two lines, which is completely in shadow. But because the surface area of the object that's casting the light isn't minuscule, you're getting this kind of gradient area between the light and the shadow, which is softening up your shadows. Now, with a small light source, that gradient area is going to be very small. But if we get to the point where the light source is actually bigger than the object casting the shadows, as you can see, the areas that are creating the light and the shadow are actually intersecting now. So you've got this area directly behind the object, which is fully bathed in light because it's receiving light from both sides of the object. And the shaded area is actually much less shaded because this area is still getting light from the object, as is this area. So the shadows are much less noticeable, to the point where on a cloudy day, for example, you'll get almost no shadow whatsoever. So relative size of the light source to the object that's casting the shadow is actually very important, which is why in this scene at the moment, because our light source is bigger than the slits that it's trying to cast a shadow through, there's no shadow in the background. So we actually need to reduce the scale of this down to sort of 5 or 10%. And as you can see, if we drop that down, the shadows start to come into focus. But obviously, because the light source gets much smaller, it also gets much dimmer. So we need to crank it up to kind of crazy, like 100 million there, just to get that effect. But it does work. So there, you can see the slit effect happening there, and that's really all there is to that. So you can experiment with your shadow casting plane here by changing the objects, or the mask that you've got on it. I've got another mask here, and as you can see, it's kind of wacky. You can't tell what it is right now. 180 degrees, and then drag our light source back a little bit. And you can see that we're actually creating a kind of an interesting pattern shadow on that there. So anyway, I hope you found that video useful. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It was quick and simple, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much. Bye bye.